So about a year ago, I made a video calling Musume the best series you're ignoring, and I want to be honest with you, that video did okay, but I don't think I made the argument well enough, because a year later, people are still ignoring it. So let me try again. This time, I'm leading with the thing I should have led with. Musume is the only sports anime where the story already happened. Is that true? Well, you don't quote me on that, but that is the pitch. That is the leading argument for here. Every other sports anime, at least the good ones, events its underdog. Someone sits in a room and decide who wins, who chokes, who comes back. Musume doesn't get to do that. These races are real. These horses were real. The results were decided decades ago by animals running on actual dirt in front of actual crowds. The show is accurate about it, not loosely inspired. The personality comes from the real horses. The racing records come from the real races. Ogiri Cap really did come out of nowhere. Haru Urara really did lose that much and gets so much love for it anyways. So what you are watching is history converted into fiction. And I genuinely can't think of another series doing that. It's not a sports anime with historical coat of paint. The history is the script. I'll say the accuracy isn't perfect across all boards. Season 1 takes the most liberties, and some of the non-side game stuff drifts away a little bit. But the intent is always to stay faithful, and I really appreciate that. When a show could just make up whatever it wants and instead chooses to honor what actually happened. That's the kind of respect you can feel from Musume. Okay, but history doesn't matter if it's boring, but it isn't. The races are the cleanest part of this entire franchise. I don't know how else to say it. They cannot make them more hype than it is. It's hype on hype on hype. You're in the race. You don't know who's taking it. And the animation is doing things most anime wouldn't attempt for a sports scene. Road to the Top and Beginning of the New Era are the peak of that for me. The animation is clean as hell, and I'm honestly kind of neutral on Jungle Pocket as a character, and it doesn't matter even a little because the races carry it completely. That's the tell, by the way. When a show can make you lose your mind over a race featuring a character you don't particularly care about. The racing direction is doing something special.
この先には何がある？可能性のはず。その先の景色は。
Now let's talk about the reason why I think people bounce off this show before they understand it. They see the premise, they assume the protagonist is a generic sweet anime girl, and they check out. Ogiri Cap is not that. She's obsessive to the point of being genuinely funny. She cares about running and pretty much nothing else. She eats absurd amounts of food. She's not a normal vanilla main character, and she's not written to be likable in the usual way. She's written to be specific. And the best part, the part that gets me every time, is that this is based off the real Ogiri Cap. The appetite, the obsession, the strange gray horse who came from nowhere. They didn't invent a quirky protagonist. They looked at a real animal's reputation and adapted it faithfully. And it just so happens to be hilarious. Her growth is real too. She starts out only caring about running and slowly becomes someone who cares about winning, which sounds like a small distinction and isn't. That's the whole arc. That's a character learning what it means to want something. Here's what I don't think people expect from a show about horse girls. Season 2 made me cry. It's not Cygame's animated one, so it doesn't have the flashiest visuals in the franchise. It's the Tokai Teo series, and it is the most story-heavy thing they've ever done. It's probably the best written entry in the entire series, and it will absolutely get you if you let it. That's the thing about this franchise that surprises everyone. You come for the racing, then it hands you a story about injury, comeback, and what it costs to keep going when your body says no. And because it's history, you can't just assume it works out, because sometimes it didn't.
なのに動かない動かせないもう走れないのあなたとの約束は果たせないの
So let's say I've got you. Where do you actually begin? Here's my honest answer, and it's a little bit different from what I used to tell people. I used to just say watch Cygame stuff because it has the best animation and it's the cleanest, and that is still true. If you want the highest quality entry point, you start with Cinderella Grey, Road to the Top, and then beginning of the new era. You'll get the strongest version of everything I've described. But I've come around on the older seasons. Season 1 is the weakest, I'll admit that. Takes the most liberties, and Special Week is a pretty basic protagonist compared to what comes later. Season 2, though, is where the writing is peak, and Season 3 is just happy-go-lucky fun. 1 through 3 have something the newer stuff doesn't. And if you really want to fully appreciate the franchise, they've earned their slot. I know most people just want the best animation, and that's fair. And it is what it is, but if you are the kind of person who sit through a rougher season for a better story, a better ending, and a better payoff, start at the beginning. Look, I know how this sounds. A show about girls with horse ears racing each other. I know the premise is a wall. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But to be fair, it just won Anime of the Year at Anime Trending Awards, the fan-voted ones, beating Apothecary Diaries and Re:Zero. First sports anime to take that top prize in 12 years. The movie also beat Chainsaw Man Reize Arc and Demon Slayer Infinity Castle in the same voting. Frieren won it the year before, so this is a real voting. And none of that is why you should watch it. That's just part of where the rest of the world started catching up. Watch it because it's the history you get to feel. Because the races are the most exciting thing in the medium right now. Because the protagonist is a weird, food-obsessed gray horse who was a weird, food-obsessed gray horse in real life too. I'll keep saying it until it stops being true. This is still the best series you're ignoring. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.